Good day everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today it's a review on the M1340 Series II medium tank that obviously is a premium for the Italians. And this is one of the, well, three M1340s that we have in game. Obviously the older brother, the M1441 and the M1542, they are pretty much the same tank. It's just they've had different changes such as a new gun, different armor, things like that. But the M1340 Series 2 is the premium. Now, I see why they've done this one as a premium because, well, we have the Series 1, we have the Series 3 in the tree, and we have obviously don't have the Series 2. The Series 1, I do apologize that that's a new subscriber. Um, well, what was I gonna say? I've lost my train of thought now. The M1340 Series 1 is pretty crap, and the M1340 Series 3 isn't actually all that bad. I quite like it, and the M1340 Series 2 is exactly the same as the Series 3. They all feature the same guns, same turret traverse, same reload for except the Series 1. The Series 1 has like a 6-second reload for some reason. Um, they all feature the same guns, machine guns, engines, horsepower outputs, top speeds, etc. They're all pretty much copy and paste except for the Series 1. And this is the premium one that you can buy for 250 golden eagles, or you can get it for free if you start off with the Italians as your, or the Italian tanks as your first choice of nation. Now, I obviously got this tank for free. I think you had to win one game in rank 3, and I used my Chaffee to do it. Oh my god, I think it took like four consecutive battles to get a win with enough battle activity so that I could obviously get the vehicle. And I was quite glad I did because I had a lot of fun with this thing. And well, the game I'm about to show you is essentially the final battle that I had to finish the Mark of Distinction off. And well, I love the tank. It's a great tank. Does have its drawbacks. Obviously, it's very slow. It doesn't like going up hills very much, and well, it's a very questionable sort of tank. It sometimes is effective in the battle, like sometimes it's good for a certain map, sometimes it's not. The gun is punchy enough, but you just got to get used to the velocity. The machine guns only have like 5 rounds a clip, it feels like. The top machine gun's borderline useless, but the coax will still get something done at least. The 47 only fires armor piercing, as in armor piercing capped. I'll show you the rounds now. They are decent rounds. Obviously, you've got the armor piercing high explosive, which you start off with stock, which has slightly better penetration, but isn't as good against angles. Then you've got the Granata Perforante Mod 39, which I always fire that round. It's just a much better round for dealing with angled armor, and just in general, people who try to angle their armor at low tier can be a bit annoying. Obviously, BT5s at the front, they can sometimes bounce the APG round, I find, so that's why I tend to fire the APC. But anyway, I'll get into the video, well, into the replay now, but one final thing. Armor is exactly the same as the other M1340s, so do apologize for my tongue twister there. And one other thing to note, people will actually get confused. They look at this thing, obviously, as a Series 1, because Series 1 comes standard in grey. I recommend putting the Series 3 and the Series 2 in grey, so then they'll think you're a Series 1. So when you fire at the ground or something to make them think they can't, well, they have 6 seconds, they only have about 3, so you can get a second shell in by the time they come around the corner, then you can blow their head off. But yeah, so I've got a couple of other reviews that I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to sit them all down now, get them reviewed. These will be in the back burner, which is so I think it's, let me check his YouTube name. Nox Crockett. If you see this one, mate, and it's quite far back, it'll probably be sometime in September. You now know why, because, well, I've had other things to cover. I've obviously got sub replays to do, which you saw there. I've got one from, or two from Jamed. Although I'm probably only going to use one of James, which is the 109G6, because I'll be covering the BT7F32 in my own review anyway, so I think it would be more beneficial if we just, well, we don't spam the channel with like BT7F32, BT7F32, etc. So I'm only going to use one of James replays. So Jamie, I'm not using your BT7F32 barrel. I'm going to review the tank, but I'll mention your barrel. That's how it will work. You'll still get your 109 replay, promise you that. So, obviously you can see here, very, very slow. 10 miles an hour. The engine is, I believe, 150 horsepower, if that. 130 maybe. I can't remember. I know it's 130 or 150. It's a pretty poor engine. The top speed, you can get to it relatively quickly, but you've only got a top speed of about 19 miles an hour. The reverse speed is about 3, so it's not really the best either. The gun depression is -10, which is very handy. I do like the gun depression. The reload rate, obviously, as I've mentioned, is very good. The ammo capacity of this tank is sufficient. It's 87 rounds, I think? It's either 87 or 97. No, it's one or two. And, well, the gun does struggle sometimes. Russian tanks are going to be your biggest threat, other than French. The B1 Biz, you can barely scratch him. You can go for the turret ring, but that's about it. Other tanks, H39s are going to be relatively tough, but the rest of them, you should be fine with. So what you got to remember is, with these APHE, or APC rounds, is they only have a 650 meter per second muzzle velocity. So it's a relatively slow-ish shell. So you notice how I had to leave that Tetrarch. I was going for the crew compartment, but I hit the engine because I didn't lead it enough. That's one thing you'll have to do. So obviously I've spotted that AC Mark II there. I actually fired low, but the turret traverse on that thing is crap anyway, so I took a hit to the side of the turret and I wasn't entirely sure where. Turns out there's a Stuart over there. I just didn't know it. I take out the loader on that Daimler armored car, and there you can see the annoying little shit, that's the M3 Stuart. Obviously I just got the assist on that Daimler armored car, but I've just taken a turret penetration, I'm down to 2 crew, and me and the Stuart are now dinging off each other until one of us gets a lucky shot in. Which just so happens, I do hit him, but it only does minor shrapnel rounds damage. He goes for the engine block to try and make me try and stop me from moving. But the thing is, this M3 Stuart could have easily killed me. All he has to do is shoot just under just above the engine deck. And, well, now he didn't get the chance. Second kill. All he has to do is essentially just shoot right here. I was angled, so he could have seen this part here, and that would have killed me. Another thing to note, there is a stat padder on our team called Feek. I have mentioned him in the comments section before. I'll show stats at the end, trust me. I mean, if I remember rightly, you will see him in the AB41 birthday surprise, so there's that. But, oh, he needs a life. So at the moment I'm just finishing off this LVT. Yeah, he's being quite stubborn. The MG gunner didn't want to die there, but whatever. Turns out I actually artilleried a LVT on the, I believe it was on the B, or just near the B point. So I got a kill on that. Obviously I've just killed that LVT, and now I'm overworking this LVT, which gets me my ace for the game. But we're not over yet. A13 Mark II. Actually a pretty dangerous tank to this thing. Well, it was. 6th kill. Obviously you got to remember I'm doing this with a dead loader, so the reload's about the same as a Series 1. So just bear that in mind. 7th kill. The I believe the fuse sensitivity is about 15 millimeters, so you got to consider that when shooting at a target as well. But otherwise, it's a perfectly valid tank for starting off Italy. It won't get you far, but it will get you far enough with the 3 M1340s that you start with. Although I wouldn't even use the Series 1. I'd get it spaded and then leave it. But let's just say me and the Series 1 have always had bad relations. I did a brief video on it monkeys ago. And I just don't like the tank. It is... It's pretty much exactly the same as this. It's just an you the gun is struggling against, say, the turret front of that M2, but shot placement is key on that thing, and well, one shot, 8th kill. But as I was saying, the Series 1, I highly advise people just spade it, get the skins on it maybe, and move on. Don't even bother using it, because it is a pile of crap. I honestly don't understand why it's got a 6-second reload. I think something about a different loading system, like the loader loads it differently or something. I can't remember, but I know for a fact it's something related to do with loading the tank. But whatever. So I've just damaged that M13, well, the A13 there. I'm nearly saying M1340 then. I'm not team killing, because besides you can't team kill in tanks anymore, unless you use a plane. Or artillery, which I have used once or twice. I'm totally not giving people advice here, but let's just say I am getting a bit more strict with my usage of artillery now. And if I know there's a player who's not pulling his weight, I will threaten him with it. I'm just tired of it. Like, other day, I had a player in a M3A1 Stuart die. Well, he came back, obviously, but he died 3 times and got no kills. And when he came back in his M13, I was like, should I RT him? Because he's not exactly helping the team anyway. We won the game, and I didn't RT him, but you get the gist. There's also a guy on this team, or on the team that I'm on, that I think Dark Angel ought to take inspiration from, called Hardcore Bosnian, which I think is a pretty cool name, not gonna lie. So obviously there is was an M2A4 Stuart. Unfortunately though, we are reaching the end of the life of this tank. There is another couple of kills afterward, but I don't want to stretch out the view to like 20 minutes, so I'll cut it off once we're killed. So there we go, took out the driver on that thing. And what you're going to remember now is I'm being shot from the front, I'm being shot from the rear, but there wasn't anything I could do. Deadly Fisher in his damn armored car, I had no idea he was there. He takes me out. Right through the engine block, goes through, kills the rest of the crew, and stops when it hits the transmission. So what do I think of this tank then? Well, personally, I would say get it. Obviously, on. We have a bit of camera problems here. Maybe just there we go. Having a bit of trouble with the camera there. Like I say, it is a great tank. It is a great start to the Italian tank forces, in my opinion. Obviously, if you're new to tanks, you'll get this thing free, but if you're not, it's definitely worth the 250 because at the end of the day, you've got an extra tank. I said the same in the A13 Third Royal Tank Regiment review. That's the same story, and I have well, I don't have any more reserve vehicles to cover. I don't think I've done the H39 Cameron. I don't think I've done a review on the M2A4 First Armored Division. So if you do want to see that, do let me know. But yeah, do pick this thing up. It is a nice little tank. And remember my advice: put it in the grey because people will think you're a Series 1 and automatically become overconfident. Hope you enjoyed today's review, and I'll see you all on the next one.